So if you're curious to know how I built a 23 unit portfolio in 12 months or less using the Banks Money business credit, then you found the right video. So let's go ahead and cue in that intro, please. Hello friend, Juan Pablo here. Thank you so much for visiting this video as well as our channel. We greatly appreciate your viewership. Now on this channel, we typically like to focus on the 3 pillars to financial freedom, which are personal finance, funding, doink, doink, as well as real estate investing with an emphasis on multi-units and multifamily investing. So if you're new to this channel, please like, subscribe, and share this content so that way the algorithm can do its thing to provide you with additional videos to help you along your journey towards financial freedom. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the topic. All right, so what I'm gonna break down 3 tips that I've implemented to help grow my portfolio. Now, the reason why I say 23 is because that was the exact number of units I needed in addition to my portfolio to help me along my journey towards becoming financially free. Now, these are the 3 tips I'm gonna share with you. The first thing I did was to apply for business credit, because once I applied, I had a business credit coach take a look at everything, all my financials, take a look at my credit scores, take a look at my business. So that way he can advise me on what business credit cards that I can qualify for. And he will also give me inside secrets such as, hey Juan, if you want to get access to more funding, I recommend for you to pay down that Bank of America credit card by $1,300. Hey Juan, to get additional forms of funding, additional lines of funding, I recommend for you to remove that collection or charge off from your credit report. To get more funding, Juan, I recommend for you to form file your company in another state, in this particular state because it's lender friendly. So he will give me play-by-play instructions on what business credit card companies to go for. So that way I can grow my money team to this thick stack here. And that's what I advise you to do. First and foremost, apply. Now I do have a free video for you. Just check the link below in the description about how to use business credit for real estate. It's a really great video. I highly recommend you to review it. And I have another link in the description as well about applying for business credit. It's free, there's no upfront cost, just apply. So that way you have a coach to be able to take a look at all your financials and advise you on how you can get started in funding, how you can get funding, in other words. Now the second tip, after you apply, either you'll receive 2 types of responses. Either you're conditionally approved or you're pre-approved. Conditionally approved basically means, hey, you will receive funding under these conditions, meaning like I received, you gotta pay down this credit card by $1,300 or remove this collection or so forth, which is great because once I took those action items, it opened the door for multiple sources of business capital, which is perfect. Now, if you are approved, you'll receive an estimate. You'll receive an estimate such as, hey, you can get up to 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 80,000, 100,000, just depending upon certain factors in regards to your financials, your credit, and so forth. So when I applied, I was presented 2 options. Option A, all right, Juan, based upon how you stand, you have 3 collections in your credit report, you have a debt utilization of over 40%, and you have 2 late pays. So basically your credit is not the prettiest as of today, but based upon how you stand, you can get qualified for $10,000. Or B, Juan, if you remove those collections, pay down that debt, as well as get these collections removed, as well as get these late pays, I meant to say removed, then you might be able to qualify for $50,000. So I was presented with 2 options. I said, hey, let me do option A because I don't have to lose a finger. And let me go ahead and get the funding. And then once I got the funding, then I proceeded with the other options such as removing those collections, late pays, and paying down some debt, okay? Now the second tip I want you to utilize is this. Let's say you were pre-approved. Congrats, hooray. The next thing I want you to do is set in your calendar every 6 months to do a credit line increase. So for instance, let's say you got approved for these 3 cars right here. Now, and let's say you applied for these 3 cars in April. So 6 months from April is October, right? So every April and every October, you should call your business credit card companies and request a credit line increase. So that way, even though you might get awarded, let's say $20,000, let's say you got 1 car for $10,000 and 2 other cars for $5,000 a piece. So that's $20,000 in total. So if you get 20,000 initially, you can continuously increase these lines. So for the one card you got 10,000, you might be able to increase that one single card to 25,000. And if you reach out to your second credit card at 5,000, you might be able to increase that to 8,000. And the third card for 5,000, you might be able to increase that to 12,000. So you might greatly increase your business credit simply by doing credit line increases. And I recommend for you to jot that down in your calendar to remind you automatically twice a year. Okay, and then the third tip I want you to do is apply for a new round of funding every 3 to 6 months. So your business credit coach will share with you when you should apply. He will let you know, hey, you can apply 3 months from now or 6 months from now. And when you apply, what you're going to receive is an additional round of funding. So for instance, when I first applied, I received $6,000. I had one card for $1,000 and another card for $5,000. I called the one card that approved me for $1,000, and I said, hey, what am I going to do with $1,000? Right? I need this for my operating expenses for my business. I need to use this for marketing. We have to increase those limits. If you can't help me, then please transfer me to someone who can, like your supervisor. So the supervisor shared the same script, and she was able to increase that one limit of 1,000 to 5,000. So now I had 2 cards with 5,000 apiece. So that's 10,000 in total. Okay. So that's me applying one of those steps. And then based upon my business credit coach consultation and advice, he said, okay, well, for your case, Juan, I recommend for that 10,000, you transfer debt from your personal debt because your debt utilization was high and transfer it over to business credit. So that way your personal credit looks cleaner, and you should do some credit repair to get rid of those collections as well as those late pays. And I have a link below about credit. Just check this description below so you can get access to that. So once I did those things, then it opened up the door to access to more funding. So 3 months later, I got another round of funding. And now I'm hooked. I'm like, hey, business credit coach, what do I need to do next? And he said, hey, you might need to form file your company in another state because this other state is lender friendly. Meaning, as long as your business is registered in that state to do business, the banks are very open to lending to foreign entities. So I might have filed my entity, let's say LLC, in New Jersey, but I forward filed it in another state. And then I was able to get access to more lines. So I said, hey, business credit coach, what can I do again to get more credit? To the point I got this thick stack of business credit cards. And what I did, once I received each round of funding, let's say I received 3 cards, I will use this capital to acquire, let's say I received 40,000. I will use these 3 cards to acquire a 6 unit. And then I applied again, let's say for another 3 months. And again, I'm doing credit line increases as well every 6 months, remember that. And so I might receive another 4 cards. And so I might have received 60,000 of funding, and then I'll use that to get an 8 unit. And then I apply again the next quarter. Next quarter, I might get 5 or 6 cards, and I might get $80,000 of funding. Now I'll use that to get a 10 unit. So I will continuously repeat this process of getting access to capital, increasing those credit line limits, consulting with the coach, to the point I had enough funding to get 23 units in 1 year. So I do have a free training for you. So if you're interested in learning about, well, how are you able to do that, Juan? How are you able to get the business credit cards, to liquidate it, to be able to find a deal and make the math work, so that way you can get a sweet deal using the business credit, and how are you able to repeat this system? We have a free training for you below on sharing with you how to do it all. All right. So just check the link below to learn more. As always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.